What is going on, everybody? Today we're going to analyze the tape of linebacker Payton Wilson, who has been very solid for the Pittsburgh Steelers. And this guy's impact, I think, is going unnoticed at this point. Things I'm noticing with Payton Willis while watching every single one of this guy's snaps is that this guy is a very good player when it comes to being able to cover. And I'm not saying Payton Wilson is an elite linebacker when it comes to coverage. The guy's very solid. And he also does a good job blitzing, which is another aspect of his game that I think is a little underrated. Although some people might recognize plays like this, and they might already know that this guy's a good blitzer, but I want to talk about all of this, right? Plus, we'll talk a little bit about some of the improvements that he needs to make. I'm excited for this one. Let's just get right into the tape. So I want to start right away talking about Payton Wilson, his first play that he played against Washington. Now, Wilson is not a full-time starter, right? He's one of those guys that's going to come in, he's going to rotate in. But this guy has done a really good job this year on tape, and here's an example of what this guy brings to the Washington Commanders. This is 3rd and 2, right? So Willis is essentially taking his first snap on 3rd and 2, which makes sense, right? He's a very good linebacker when it comes to covering, as well as blitzing, so that's kind of one of the things you're going to utilize this guy at. But notice what happens within this play. The Commanders are essentially going to come out with 5 offensive linemen pass protecting and having to pick up the defensive linemen. And the Steelers, recognizing this on tape, that the Commanders do this 5-man protection a lot, are going to end up lining up multiple people on the line of scrimmage. So now the Commanders don't really know who's coming and who's dropping off. And these 2 guys on the inside specifically are going to essentially be simulating pressure. So what that means up front is these 3 guys essentially have to pick up these 3 guys. And why that's important is because if one guy specifically drops off, that means another guy could potentially come unblocked. And that's exactly what's going to happen on this one. So keep an eye here on Payton. He's going to end up dropping off, and you're going to get a defensive end off the left edge that's essentially free. To me, it's a great job here to be able to simulate that pressure. But what's most important about this play is, you can't simulate pressure if a guy's standing in the stacked linebacker position. You can only do it if he's up here at the line of scrimmage. And one of the things to note is this is cover 1 man-to-man defense, which means someone has to cover the running back. And in this instance, it's actually the linebacker, and look at how quickly he gets out of there. Look at how fast and explosive Payton Willis is. Not only does he simulate pressure, but he gets out of there. He avoids making contact with any of the guys up front, and he gets to his guy. Now, I show all that to you guys because this is very incredible for a linebacker to do, but Payton Wilson, very good linebacker when it comes to coverage, when it comes to movement, being able to do his job. And you see on this one, 3rd and 2, he stays right on top of the running back, and the quarterback doesn't even look that way. In fact, this ends up being an incomplete pass, and these are the little things that Payton does on tape that no one's going to ever recognize. Because sometimes what you see on tape doesn't actually translate into stats. And this is why Payton Wilson has kind of been underrated a little bit up to this point this season. Because he's doing his job, right? He's essentially taking away the guy that he's lined up across. And you're seeing this happen on so many different snaps where he's just taking the running back away. He's running with him. He's making sure the running back's not able to get free. Keep in mind, these are man-to-man plays where he's one-on-one against the running back. Here's another one where he's essentially going to simulate pressure, and on this one, he's going to end up taking the tight end. It's just a good job being able to kind of get to your spot. Another thing to note with Wilson, he's done a really good job tackling in space, and I think you got to give him some credit for that. He's been able to drop back into his zone coverages, and anytime the quarterback checks the ball down, he's been able to get up there and make an open field tackle. And never overlook the fact that open field tackling is such a big part of being able to have success as a defense. Because oftentimes when one of these guys misses, you're picking up 15 yards after that. And with Wilson, you're seeing that this guy's being very stout in his zone drops. He's being very solid when it comes to being able to climb and ultimately take the tight end away, the running back away, and make sure to bring that guy down. He has played almost 250 snaps, with the high percent of those being in coverage, and he's done a really good job coming downhill and making tackles. He's only missed 3 tackles up to this point this season, and he's made multiple positive plays as well for the defense. Pro Football Focus has credited this guy with 14 stops, which are essentially positive tackles that could be either against the run or the pass, and he's just been stout. All right, he's been very stout. You see on this one here, he comes downhill, tackles the running back in open space. Beautiful job. On this 3rd and 13 play, he's going to be lined up against John Robinson. They're going to run a quick screen down towards the bottom, and he's going to do a great job saving a touchdown. In fact, this forces the Falcons here to kick the field goal. If Falcons get a little bit closer, they might have ultimately went for this. You're going to see the receiver in the slot obviously has to get to Wilson. Willis is going to fight through that. Really good job to be able to get past that. That too, that's a massive wide receiver. That's a 6'3.5", 230-pound wide receiver in Drake London. You can see he just kind of goes right through it, and he's going to end up grabbing onto the running back from the backside and ultimately help saves the touchdown. So it's a really good job right there as well, showing off that high effort. That's another thing you cannot overlook either, right, is that high effort. Here's another play where he's going to kind of show that. You're going to see he's going to not only defend the run, but he's going to chase the quarterback from the backside. He's going to push him out. It's a really good job right there. But again, this is a great job to show high effort, right, and not just kind of let the play go by. I really like what I see with this rookie linebacker. I do want to talk a little bit about his run defense as well, because the guy has done a pretty good job at defending the run. Now, I do think the biggest improvement he can make is he can continue to get better defending the run, right? I think that's one thing he'll have to continue to develop. But when it comes to being able to run sideline to sideline, when it comes down to chasing things backside, the guy does a really good job. You can see that quickness and speed on tape with Wilson. You see kind of what he flashed while he's in college as well. I do think as a run defender, sideline to sideline is where this guy's going to make his money, especially early on. Obviously, he'll get to develop as he goes forward into his career. But he does a good job against reach blocks. He does a good job when he has to chase guys down. A wide zone, stretch zone, outside zone, all the different outside concepts this guy does a really good job at. If there's a screen pass, quick screen towards the right or towards the left, this guy recognizes it and he runs right through there. On this one here, he's going to do a great job being able to defeat the left guard. Left guard here has the angle on the linebacker. You see right out of his stance, left guard gets out of there, and you're going to see he's going to end up just going right underneath it. And that's a very, very, very risky thing to do, because when you go underneath guys that are really good guards, you oftentimes end up getting hooked off. Now, I'm not saying the backup guard here is a great guard or anything like that, but the fact that Wilson feels comfortable going underneath it is impressive in my opinion. You're going to see another one here. You're going to get a pin pull toss towards the left. And once again, just chasing plays down, this guy does a really good job against. To me, it's a really, really nice job. Once again, this one picks up about 1.5, 2 yards. Love the fact that he recognizes as quickly as he does. He ends up seeing that you got a pin pull. Left tackle, number 11 Pittman here are both going to essentially block down. You're going to get 83 as well as the left guard to both pull towards the left. Wilson recognizes that. He stays within the run fit, takes on a very, very good guard in Quentin Nelson, holds his own, is able to kind of keep the outside containment, and he's going to end up bringing the running back down here for a gain of about 2 yards. Again, really solid run defender when it comes to outside stuff, right? Between the tackles, he can continue to work and continue to get better. I do like the fact that this guy's quick, and he does utilize that quickness. The way this guy moves is very, very different, right? And you can see that just kind of compared to some of the other guys. This guy's a lot shiftier than other guys, essentially, right? You see the other linebacker here, comparing Queen here to 41. You can just see the difference, right? And you can see how much faster Wilson is on this one than Patrick Queen. But I do also want to just wrap this video up talking about some of the negative things. And these are just little things that he'll improve in as he continues to develop and as he continues to get more snaps in the NFL. You know, one of the things with rookies is the speed of the game is obviously a lot faster, right? You got to get used to the fact that you're now in the NFL. Every single offensive lineman is, essentially the best player on their team in college. And one of the things Wilson's going to have to do is he's going to have to learn to use his hands a little bit better. Now, he's very quick, he's very fast, he's very shifty. And you can see even on this one here, he does a great job actually making this center miss. But what ends up happening on this play is as the right guard comes towards him and he makes a miss, well, making him miss is a great thing to do, right? But sometimes you've got to take these guys on and stay within the run fit. Because on this one here, you see the running back just cuts it towards the right, and that is Payton Willis's run fit. If you guys just kind of look at the run fits within this play, I'm going to just go ahead and pause it here. You can see where some of these guys are in terms of their run fits. And if Wilson sticks his nose right here based off where the linebackers are and the defensive linemen are, you can see this is his gap. This is a gap he has to stay inside of. And what's going to end up happening is as he steps into that gap, he's going to end up going back towards the left because he wants to get around number 74 here. And you can see the running back's going to end up just hitting it right into that gap. So to me, you got to do a little bit of a better job developing as a run defender in between the tackles. You got to develop a little bit in terms of using your hands. And those are just the little things he has to get better at. There are multiple examples on tape that you guys can watch of this guy as a run defender. It's not terrible across the board, right? He's still making plays. He's still getting in there. He's still being able to do some good things. But I need to see Wilson take that next step as a run defender, which will probably happen at some point next year, right? Being able to get off blocks, he'll get a lot better going into next year because those are the little things you develop, right? As an inside linebacker, right? It's just being able to use your hands a little bit better, get off blocks a little bit cleaner. But one of the things I do really like with this guy is there's so many traits that Wilson has flashed, right? There's a lot of really, really good things like the movement he has. And that movement and quickness translates him into being a really good linebacker in coverage. And with that, you're also able to do things in terms of pass coverage, right? You can simulate pressure the way we looked at early on in this video, and you can drop him off and he can get to the spot, right? You can get to many guys because he's such a good linebacker in terms of that quickness. At the same time, this guy's smart. He can get after the quarterback when he blitzes. All right, there's just so many positive things with the guy like Payton Wilson. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did, consider subscribing. We are obviously covering the Pittsburgh Steelers on this channel, and I will see you guys next time with another video.